52 Traders, episode 24.
But I think my favourites, which are really set, in stone and give the best trading signals. And if anybody wants to follow up on this, I advise you to become really acquainted with these patterns. Is in terms of the five-wave impulse structures, I would definitely get acquainted with the diagonal pattern.
Over the next year, your host Cam Hawkins gets inside the minds of 52 of the world's best traders to find out if he has what it takes to become one of them. Join Cam every week on the 52 Traders podcast or at 52traders.com to learn how to trade like the pros. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not investment, trading, or financial advice of any kind. Trading is very risky and could lose you all of your capital. Any comments about historical performance are not an indication of future results.
Before we kick things off, remember to visit 52traders.com for the show notes and to pick up my completely free trading software that had a 100% win rate in 2014. Simply jump on the site, add your email, and I'll send you the download link. What's up, traders? Welcome to another weekly installment of 52 Traders, and today we're lucky enough to have Peter Goodburn on the show. Now, Peter is an Elliot wave practitioner and trader with experience dating back to the late 1970s, where he started his trading career back in the commodities business. Peter was first introduced to Elliot wave in the mid-80s, and this led him to become the founding partner of WaveTrack International. Peter is also a certified financial technician and has taught the Elliot wave principle to students at the London School of Economics. Now, today's interview with Peter is very much a deep dive on Elliot wave, so slightly different from the typical format that I run. So welcome, Peter, and thanks for joining me here on the 52 Traders podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Cam. Thanks for inviting me.
Not a problem. So, Peter, I've mentioned some of your highlights already, and I know that's only a small part of your story. So now here's your chance to tell the listeners a bit more about you personally and what first attracted you to trading.
Well, first attracted, I left design college, and at that time, back in the late 70s, jobs were pretty hard to come by, and it wasn't a guarantee that you get a job as soon as you leave college. So actually, a friend of mine was running a commodity company, trading company, and he was very successful in those days. It was in the aftermath of when the gold standard was rescinded and commodities were starting to liven up and start heading higher. And he was actually specializing in buying silver. And he introduced me to a commodity company, a company called Billiton, which I think for many listeners will probably know as one of the largest mining companies in the world. And they had a trading division based in London. And I started my career there. So it was really at the sort of epicenter at the time of the commodity era. Now, basically in the late 70s, you have to remember that sort of futures bond markets weren't even trading in those days. They weren't really created until the early 80s. So actually the epicenter of a lot of trading was really focused in the commodity scene at that time. And I was actually trading on the London Metal Exchange. So I was going down to the pits every day, or what we call the floor. And so I gained quite a bit of experience in those early young days about what it means to see big fluctuations going on, big trends, collapses, and a lot of these different aspects which, we take for granted today. And I gradually worked through in London trading at these commodity companies for quite considerable time until much later when I set my own business up, which was WaveTrack International in the late 80s.
And what do you get up to in your spare time, Peter?
Spare time? Well, most of my spare time I love to read, and the whole fascination of market analysis means that I delve quite a lot into sort of history. So I love going back into the past times, the early part of the 20th century when markets were becoming a lot more tangible for people to trade, and particularly those I love to read those books about Dow theory and the early parts of of those luminaries which really started off and kicked off our interest in financial markets at that time. So I love to look at history actually in the markets.
Oh, very good. Right, so for those listening for the first time, we're about to enter a round I'd like to call the fundamentals. So this is where I'll be asking Peter to tell us stories that will help you understand what makes him a successful trader. So can you give the listeners some insight into your Elliott wave analysis, your analysis style, approach, timeframes, duration, number of instruments you analyze, and the asset class preferences, those sorts of things? Okay, so that was the first part of the show. Now, to hear the full episode, the best bits, join the family at 52traders.com. They usually go for about 45 minutes to an hour long. And trust me, these shows are great. They give us so much insight. Now, if you want to get there quickly, all you need to do is jump into the show description on your phone, and there's a link taking you directly to 52traders.com, where you can join the family over there and listen to the full episode. Now, in the rest of the show, I cover off what my traders do differently from the rest of us. So what is it that they're doing that we're not doing? What their typical trading day looks like, what they would do if they had a day job now and wanted to trade for a living, their preferred trading strategy, so actually how does it work? What we should be educating ourselves on when we're looking at a price chart, so what indicators we should use, what price levels, what chart patterns, all those sorts of things. Also, we touch on fundamentals as well, so how do we use news to our advantage? Trading psychology, tips, tricks, techniques, we go through those. Exiting trades, managing trades that you've got running, so we talk about their strategies. They give you strategies for exiting and managing trades. Books to read, websites to visit, all the best ones. Something that you should try and master over the next month, the broker and platform they use. And finally, last but not least, they give us a full trading strategy, so something you guys can try out at home on your PC this week in the markets if you wish. Now, to get the full episode, you need to jump onto 52traders.com, join the family. As I said, it usually goes on for 45 minutes to an hour, and there's a link in the show description, so if you're on your phone, just jump on there, tap the link, and it'll take you straight to 52traders.com. Now, if you're thinking about learning to automate any of your trading, hiring a developer, learning to code, that sort of thing, then before you do that, jump onto my other website, automatemytrading.com. So if you're interested in automating some or all of your trading, then jump onto automatemytrading.com and you'll see me over there. For now, to hear the rest of this episode, all you need to do is click on the link in the show description or go to 52traders.com. See you there.